For the support of the Latino vote, there's little talk about an important fact of life in that community, a very high school dropout rate, which inevitably is linked to long-term poverty. Tucson, Arizona, with its large Mexican American population, tried to address that problem by creating a Mexican American Studies program in the 1990s. The idea was to help student achievement by making learning more relevant. But what many there viewed as a big success, others saw as nothing more than a program that's anti-American, even subversive, and had to be stopped. John Carlos Frey has our report.
The sun is setting in Tucson, Arizona, and something is happening on the rough, impoverished side of town.
You finished your research? You finished this? You have finished your research paper.
A handful of Latino high school students are about to start class. Tonight they're reading poetry and essays they wrote themselves, inspired by their own experiences.
A rose that can see her life coming to an end, she won't live to see another summer.
In a city where hundreds of Latinos dropped out of high school in 2012, this is noteworthy. But why is this teacher conducting class in a youth center and not in a high school?
It's absolute tragedy. It's traumatic what happened to our students. That's good. That's real good.
Because ethnic studies programs, like this Mexican American Studies class, have now been outlawed by the state of Arizona.
Right when they gavelled us dead on January 10th of 2012, I can't live like that. I couldn't let that happen.
Let's talk real quickly.
Curtis Acosta is a high school English teacher who used to teach Mexican American Studies in Tucson's public school district, a program created to reach out to at-risk Latino students. The idea? To improve academic performance by teaching literature and history they could personally identify with. But critics argued that the program promoted radical ideas, anti-American ideas. So after combative school board meetings,
you cowards! You cowards!
And massive student protests, the program came to an end a little over a year ago.
We're all going to get on.
Now Curtis Acosta teaches this outlawed class on his own free time to students who still crave that course of study.
The kids are coming to our Sunday class because it's important to them. Because it's a space where they feel that they are valued, that their stories are valued. And it represents the last ember of what we were.
It's independent research.
Mexican American Studies was founded in Tucson in 1997, where more than 60% of the students are Latino. Sean Arce co-founded the program to address what he describes as an education crisis in the Mexican American community.
Mexican Americans are in fact have the second highest push-out or dropout rate in the nation. That accompanied with the fact that we are the fastest growing demographic in this country with the lowest educational attainment. That's a crisis not just for the Latino community, but for all communities.
To be successful.
He could have been talking about students like Myra Feliciano. She and her family immigrated to the United States from Mexico when she was just a year old. All legal residents of the United States now. Her father is a gardener, and her mother cleans houses. Can you give me like the list of the kinds of grades that you got on your report card?
It was just like F's everywhere, and it's just like, might as well just put like a huge F on like my transcript.
Why were you ditching school?
Because I didn't feel like I had like a purpose there. Part of me kind of felt like I wasn't smart enough to be in school in the first place.
It was this sentiment that the Mexican American Studies program was designed to address. Mostly for high school juniors and seniors, it allowed students to opt out of their regular English and social studies classes to take Latino-oriented classes.
We had to provide an educational experience wherein our students saw themselves in the curriculum, where their histories, where their cultura, their culture, their lived experiences were in fact validated.
So instead of Roman history, they learned Aztec history. Instead of The Great Gatsby, they read books like Immigrants in Our Own Land by celebrated author Jimmy Santiago Baca. And by many accounts, the program was working. Students who never had an interest in school started coming to class. A University of Arizona study found that in 2010, students in the program were 64% more likely to pass standardized tests than students of a similar ethnic background not in the program. The University of Arizona study found that in 2009, students in the program were 51% more likely to graduate than students of a similar ethnic background not in the program.